What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala. Awesome. This now is our midweek episode, and today is a very special episode. We're not going to be talking about current affairs. We're going to be talking about something bigger than that.
Well, I mean, we are sort of talking
that's
about current
true,
affairs because this guy has his pulse on everything, like, you know. He's
On
covered all ends
everything.
of the spectrum. Yeah.
We've got a very special someone on the podcast. We are not physically in the same location because we are divided by the causeway. But we would like to welcome on his Yalabat debut, Dr. Jason Leong, a stand-up comedian from Malaysia. He's been doing stand-up comedy for a while. We've seen his work. You probably have seen his work online as well. And he recently had his own Netflix special. And that's when you know you made it, man. So welcome, Dr. Jason Leong.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. That was a very nice introduction. The sound effect at the beginning was quite underwhelming, lah.
Which one? Which one?
The pew, 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 that was.
You're one to talk about underwhelming given you come from Malaysia.
Yeah. No. Let me be very clear. Malaysia is very overwhelming.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Our corruption is overwhelming. Our COVID cases, as of recording today, actually we recorded 19,000 new cases, which is a record.
New record.
It really is a new record. I'm not joking. Today, 4th of August, 19,000 new cases, a new record. So that's overwhelming. And I have to say also, our food is overwhelmingly better than Singapore. I mean that will never change. So
starting, drawing the guns really.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, you know, sometimes when Terrence and I, we do 3 podcasts a week, and sometimes we really have to dig for news, for hot news. I feel if we were doing current affairs in Malaysia, right, fucking every day can do 3 podcasts, man.
Wow. Yeah. There's too many bullshit is going on right now. So too much nonsense going on. So it's if I do a video to parody what's happening in Malaysia, say what happened on Sunday, let's say. What happened on Monday, right? By the time the video comes out on Tuesday, it would have been obsolete because Tuesday would have new things which I couldn't, while I recording, the shit happened. So I cannot catch up. So yes, it's too much.
I mean, I just Google
but first and foremost, like how are you yourself holding up in Malaysia?
Oh, I think I'm keeping sane because people like you guys ask me to do podcasts. Doing content keeps me occupied. Making videos and parody, keeping my YouTube channel alive. And also I think regular exercise helps me. Exercise is very important because it really helps regulate your body. This pandemic and lockdown will make a lot of people out of whack. Let me ask you guys, right? Have you ever in the middle of the week wake up and then you don't know what day it is?
Yeah, all the time, man.
All the time.
Because the weekends and weekdays don't make any difference anymore. So it's important to keep exercising to have that sense of routine and regularity, which for me is very important.
But I mean, in Singapore, I think it's a bit different than how it is in Malaysia, because what state are you all in right now? It's still MCO, or is there some new abbreviation that has come up already?
Oh, we are in a state of denial.
Okay.
Okay, so right now we are almost the entire country is still in our MCO, which is the movement control order. But our movement control order is a lot of things we can't do, but the factories are still running, and the factories are producing a lot of clusters of cases. Restaurants are shut. Restaurants are not allowed for dine-in, but you can order via Grab or whatever. But they shut down at 8 p.m. So pretty much everything shuts down at 8 p.m. The malls, I'm not sure the malls are closed, but a lot of them are closed. They're you can see my hair is a bit fucked up because I can't go to the barber or the hairdressers. And massage parlors, parks are all closed. So it's quite miserable, but we are just chugging along.
So that means you can leave your house, but because I know at one point last year when it was damn hardcore, you couldn't even leave your house, right?
Yeah, so see now technically you can only leave your house for medical reasons or buying food, but then they start allowing you can go jogging, and then if your workplace is part of the list of industries they're allowed to operate, then you can go and work. So it's like, what's the point, you know? Yeah. But overall, like for me, the worst thing is like I can't do stand-up comedy. The comedy clubs are closed. You know, the live events are not allowed. We can't even go outside and shoot outdoors, shoot videos outdoors. So I'm pretty much cooped up at home. But you know, do online comedy, online videos. That helps keeps me going lah. But overall,
but just to clarify, because I mean, our audience, definitely a lot of people in Singapore, we all know you. But at the same time, there's some people who might be new to you on this podcast lah.
Yes.
So you're not currently a practicing doctor who's like fighting COVID on the front lines.
No. That would have been very sexy. But yes, I get what you mean. Then people say, "Oh, this guy's a doctor, but why is he cooped up at home? Why is he?"
yeah, exactly. They're like, "What is
your job?
Why is he doing what the?" Doing podcasts of people dying now. No. So I stopped working as a doctor 2014. So that's like 7 years ago. I've been a full-time stand-up comedian then. But so the funny thing is in 2019 was my best year in comedy because like I did 2 major tours and you know like travel all around the world to do comedy, and you know even my best earning year, right? So I like feeling the top of the world. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, quit medicine, becoming a stand-up comedian. I feel like a rock star. Then next year there's a pandemic, then live events not allowed to happen, and then suddenly all the frontliners are heroes now, you know. Not all heroes wear capes, you know, they wear the face shield or stay at home, we stay at work because so you can stay home. While all this nonsense, then I feel like shit. I'm like, why am I'm a comedian, what can I contribute to this bullshit?
So for real, you would be on the front lines fighting if you had continued in medicine, like you said.
Well, okay, so I think in some fashion or other, yes, because I would have, I don't know, become a specialist hopefully, and in one way or another I would have been. I think all doctors in Malaysia are considered frontliners lah, because the hospitals are being overwhelmed right now. Every public hospital is overwhelmed with COVID-19 cases, so you can't run away lah from touching COVID patients lah. So yeah, I would have been either in the front lines or near the front lines.
So anyone tell you like, so you doctor, has that confusion happened, or in Malaysia you're known enough that people don't still mistake you for an actual doctor? No. Clarify?
No. So I don't think they mistake me for an actual doctor, but then there are some assholes who ask like, hey Jason, you know the country needs you, why aren't you volunteering in the front lines? And I'm like, why on earth would I volunteer? It's ridiculous. Like, you want me to go and sweat in the PPE in the hot sun, sweating and dripping sweat for like 8 hours for no money, while I can make no money doing at home. You know, at home and relaxing, you know. But yeah. So I have not volunteered, and actually it brings up a very good issue, because recently there's an issue with doctors who start their journey as a doctor in Malaysia, but they're given like short-term contracts. Unlike before, where every new doctor gets like a permanent placement. Because the government either don't have money or don't want to pay them. So now the contract doctors are trying to lobby for permanent positions but the government is like trying to delay it, or you know, just putting a stopgap measure. So it's very different in Singapore. Singapore, you're a doctor, you get a job in the Singapore public service, and you can stay on indefinitely, you know. But now it's it's on contract basis, and the doctors are actually resigning because like, why should I continue working? Because there's no career path, there's no career progression.
Oh, is that the doctors Code Black movement?
Yes, the Code Black, we call it the doctors strike lah, the Hartal doctor contracts, which means strike lah. So that happened like few days ago, and the thing is, it's so funny. I've talked about it in my video, right? It's like the doctors are striking, and then they want to take disciplinary action against the doctors who are striking. And it's like, you're like, what can you do? You know, you threaten your career. They have no careers. How can you threaten? They are fighting because they have no careers. Number one, and number two, like, what's the worst disciplinary action? Suspension, or you know, suspension or expulsion lah. Okay, let's just put it that way lah. Okay, so you kick out all these doctors. There is no big group of doctors on the sidelines waiting to come in and take their jobs. You know. Right. We are in a pandemic. We need all the doctors, but you want to discipline doctors who and that you have already alienated doctors. Why would they come and want to work for you? It's just a stupid clusterfuck of a situation.
This is the time where you open your cupboard, all your white coats, and you're like, fucking now is the time, man.
But does it mean that for you is there's no possibility of say, I want to become a doctor again, and then you somehow reactivate your license? Or something?
Can. So what we have is called. I think the setup is pretty much the same in Singapore. Can't be much different. So we have this thing called the APC, Annual Practicing Certificate. So if I were to go back to the service, I would have to apply to renew my annual practicing certificate and then get back in lah, But like I said, now the conditions are not very good for doctors right now. But yes, essentially you can, yeah.
Because we get that all the time lah. We both came from corporate world. So every time we see every time Harish sees his mother or I see my mother, there's always the question, so when are you going to go back into getting a real job again?
Yeah, that's why, especially last year. Because, the funny thing you said, you became full-time comic 2014, right? We started full-time YouTube 2014. And 2019, we got our first TV show where we created, it was streamed towards Asia.
Nice.
Won like a few awards. And 2020, we were like, fucking, this is our year, man.
Yeah.
then 2 weeks before Circuit Breaker in Singapore, the network we made the show for liquidated.
Oh!
And that liquidation is still going on. Then Circuit Breaker. Then we were like, wow. Then all the things like, why don't you go find a job now?
Yeah.
Maybe now is the time.
Do something for society.
Yeah.
Do something for society.
But then again, you guys landed on your feet, right? Because of this podcast and everything. I see you got lots of views, like hundreds and thousands of views. That's really great, no? That's why it's important to create content also, because okay, I can be one person on the front lines. Right? But with my YouTube channel and my videos, I'm reaching out to literally hundreds and thousands of people, and my messaging can be, stay at home, adhere to the SOPs, get vaccinated, don't believe the anti-vaxxer bullshit. And I think that I bring more benefit behind the camera than, in the front lines. Because I'm just being honest, there are hardly anyone in the front lines who can do what I do, which is put out an informative video telling people go and get vaccinated.
You're like the entertain the troops kind of person lah.
You're
not the troop itself. You're not a trooper.
But the whole when I can relate with your mom saying when you're gonna come back. Okay, this happens to me not with my mom, right? But this only happens to me after a good gig. Okay, I can understand if it happens after a bad gig, but it only happens after a good gig, right? I go and perform for an event, perform. People are happy, then maybe a fan or a client will come around and will talk to me and say, hey Jason, hey, so really you're not practicing anymore. And I said, no, I'm a full-time comedian. Then they'll say, oh, but isn't it a waste? Isn't it? Wow, you study 5 years
with the head shake.
You study 5 years. Isn't it a waste? Isn't it a waste? That's the word. No, isn't it a waste? I'm like, did you just see me kill at the gig? If the gig I bomb, I totally understand. It's always after I do well. Like, isn't it a waste? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that one. That's why anytime we got some mention in the traditional media, like newspaper or something, right? Immediately Terrence's mom, he'll get a photo from her, send to me, then I send to my mom. Then for one day, our moms are like, okay lah, not bad.
So Chop, so Terrence's mom will send a screenshot or whatever and send to Terrence, and Terrence will send to you, Harish.
And then I send to my mom. So
only old people read the newspaper. So Harish and I will never see it.
So how come Harish's mom never read newspaper?
Because where she stays at my brother's place, no newspaper.
Oh yo. What do you mean? The papermen don't go to the
No, they stopped the newspaper.
Okay.
Waste money.
Hey, so then why Terrence's mom still buy newspaper? Hey, online media lah, bro.
That generation, they wake up, they must have that.
Yeah, they have that.
Hands.
They must touch.
Must sit there and then they ignore your children, that kind of thing lah. This all
Terrence, your mom is every day she opens hoping to see your face, no.
Every day.
Every day.
Every day is quite a high expectation lah.
Yeah, and then the one that appeared yesterday, I was wearing a mask, so you can't tell it's me also.
So you can't tell. I think with Terrence wearing a mask, he looks like me lah. I can pass for Terrence in a mask.
Yeah.
So you can send your mom also.
I can take over the podcast and then we just make Terrence disappear. No one will know. I'm still Terrence.
But do you? I mean, I'm just asking because it's something that I think a lot of us have gone through. But do you feel any existential kind of crisis in the past year, lah? You know, just having to sort of become like a stay-home content creator.
Wait, 1 minute. 1 minute.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So no, I was just asking, did you have any kind of existential crisis in terms of your thinking about, you know, where you are in entertainment and everything in the past year, lah? Has that ever?
Oh yeah.
come to your mind at all?
Yes. Wait, yes. Yeah. So definitely, I think I won't say last year, because last year I was kind of confident that we will get through the. I thought that we'll get through the pandemic by the end of last year. And so far I think it's not gonna go anyway anytime soon, so I have not been doing live stand-up for quite some time, so I'm trying to figure a way to get back to live stand-up, either like say if live events in Singapore is happening, I would love to go to Singapore, or you know, overseas like New York, LA, whatever, because I need to I feel like my career has been stagnated a bit, because like I mean the live stand-up comedy part I have not been doing, so I need to get back on my feet touring lah. I was working on 40 minutes of new material last month, April, and then May happened, and then I think I was in May, and then June everything stopped again, so I had like 40 minutes of new material. I wanted to do like 1 hour, and it's coming there, but then now we can't do live stand-up comedy again, so it's very frustrating, but I need to get back on my feet literally soon lah. Yeah, definitely that there was an existential crisis, like when am I going to get back to do stand-up?
But that means not existential in the sense that you want to leave the industry lah.
Oh no, never. I never wanted to leave the industry. I still want to be a stand-up comedian, and you know, like if you look at other countries, you know, live stand-up comedy is happening, so it's just a matter of getting myself there lah.
Yeah,
but because in Singapore, I think it was quite a concerted effort from you know the big players like Rishi and Faz and all, to try and still keep everyone together in the loop by, you know, trying to push as much as they can, you know, whatever small events and all. Is there a similar kind of infrastructure in Malaysia where you all are supporting each other or giving encouragement or what?
Yeah, I think we're encouraging each other, of course, but the more important thing, rather than encouraging each other, is like we just got to keep doing and creating comedy and creating content. You know, there are a lot of stand-up comedians, especially in Malaysia. You know, I feel like they're a bit too lazy for their own good. You know, now that we are not busy with gigs, you should be creating content. I don't care whatever it is. No, you can't do live stand-up. Do funny videos. You gotta keep the brain moving, you know. And so like other comedians like Douglas Lim has been doing it very well. He's going viral almost every week, so that's great. That has kicked me in my ass, because now I just want to do comedy videos as often as I can. So and unfortunately for Rishi and everyone there, like I know that they were about to do a live stand-up gig, but then the KTV cluster really fucked it up for everybody.
So but then now they are doing some live stream thing, so it's still gonna be some element of live, which I cannot imagine is totally different lah.
Yes. Different, I think I'm looking forward to the day when we can actually do live shows, and then the pent up demand will explode. There'll be some form of revenge spending, and look, humans are social creatures. No, we innately want to have that shared experience. Go to a live show, live concert, you know, literally rub shoulders with other people and cheer together, laugh together. We all really want that, and we have not had that for like almost 2 years. So I think when things ease up, there'll be, you know, an explosion of demand lah.
Or just start performing in KTVs because that'll be the first place to resume operations again.
Somehow
they'll find.
You know, to be fair, our KTV is still not operating as far as I know. As far as I know. So our KTV, we don't have KTV cluster yet lah.
But the KTV in Malaysia is similar to Singapore, this kind of pattern.
Yeah,
you know how they are.
I've only been once, and yes, the pattern is about the same lah. But here's the thing. So remember, this is Malaysia, right? So recently, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think the inspector of a police station in a town called Kajang, he and his boys were arrested. So the inspector was arrested with a few of his fellow police officers because they were throwing a party in the police station. There was some drugs and a disco ball, and there were some girls. So they were arrested.
Serious?
You just Google police station Kajang disco, whatever. So they were arrested because they were having their own KTV in the police station.
Wow, fantastic.
Wow, that's next levels, yeah.
That means they arrested the girl, the KTV girls or what, and
Then they
brought them to the
celebrate.
station.
Then they celebrate.
That's next level. That's next level.
But I mean, like, back, you were saying you started creating content. I think you just passed 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, right?
Yes,
Hey,
sir.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, congrats. Now you're a YouTuber, bro.
And you're getting all the gigs lah. I mean, as in like you have sponsors on your videos and things like that lah, right?
But also you guys got what, 1 million subscribers, right? So
No lah, no. We are 133,000.
oh really? I thought you but your videos get a lot of views. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, thanks man.
Yeah,
But
No, I think
Yeah.
they're from years back lah. Because we started in
I
2014,
see.
right? So 2014, I don't know if you remember, YouTube like pranks were very big.
Oh, I see.
On the street
those
videos and
on
all.
the street interviews were very big. So we did a lot of that kind of stuff. In fact, we started off doing pickup videos, like picking up Singapore girls using cheesy
see.
pickup lines.
just waiting to get cancelled lah now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the trend now? You guys are veteran YouTubers. What's the trend now?
I mean home renovation in Singapore.
Really,
Fucking people. For some reason, people love to watch other people's homes though. Like you
Property,
go in Singapore YouTube, like for some reason, anyone who makes a house tour, right? Fucking people like jizz over it, man.
So but you must show the house before and after lah.
Yeah, something like that lah.
Correct.
It's the Singaporean dream lah. Get HDB then
ideally-
pimp it up. Yeah, pimp it up.
Yeah, ideally some sad story about how, they cannot afford to, pay for medical bills, and then you come in with like home renovation idea for them.
But see, how does the home renovation help the medical bills? You still have to pay the goddamn bills, right?
Nobody cares as long as you got starting point, you got the arc right.
I see.
And you got nice HDB at the end. It's shop already.
That's a good point. You need to have that storyline. Yeah, very good point. I should learn from.
Story arc.
I should learn from you. I think the reflection of what Malaysia is right now. I would probably do a home makeover, but reverse. We show the home first, and then pandemic hit. The fella lost his job. The father died of COVID, and then now more horrible. Like, I think that'd be good. Then you wave the white flag. Please help us for food. I think that's the.
No, and actually, like, because my mom's from Malaysia, so I got a lot of family in KL, and I've been going every year for the past like 20, 25 years, and even listening to them, right, like 90s to early 2000s, Malaysia, KL was like, it just felt a very different place lah. And now the way it's been going down, even my relatives are slowly they are kind of finding options elsewhere lah.
Yeah. So that's why I've been trying to tell
Singapore lah.
I've been trying to tell Rishi and anyone in Singapore who is listening. I'm trying to see if I can move to Singapore, and work with you, very fine gentlemen, Terrence and Harris, and so. No, but it's true because like I feel like Malaysia is a sinking ship. Lots of things are going haywire right now, and I think it's only natural to find safe harbor elsewhere lah.
Yeah.
But
No, go. What were you gonna say?
you come. So you come to KL almost every year.
I used to come every year till COVID hit lah.
I see.
Even in February of last year, I went for my cousin's wedding.
I see.
Because Indian wedding, so I was there for 3 weeks lah.
Yeah, I know the typical Punjabi wedding lah. This one.
Cindy. I'm like Rishi.
Oh,
I'm another Cindy.
Cindy weddings are also very long. I know Punjabi weddings are very long.
No, because Cindy is all about showing status and the bling.
I
So the more
see.
events you have, the more opportunities to show off lah.
Yeah, I mean like for Chinese weddings, right? We only have like max is the tea ceremony and then the wedding ceremony, but Cindy's and Punjabis take it new different level like must do at the bride's house, then the groom's house, then the groom's hometown, then the bride's
tear off the clothes or no. That's why since growing up, I always went to Indian weddings. Then when I went for my first Chinese wedding, right, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is boring as shit.
Bro.
and you're forced to pay for it some more, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I have attended. So these friends of mine, they're Asian, but they lived in New Zealand for a long time, so they're kind of white. They're kind of white now. So they had a wedding ceremony. It's damn small, bro. White weddings are so nice and small, and it's like okay, done. Very efficient. Yeah. So what do you think of KL when you came every year last time?
I mean, back then it was just staying with my relatives lah. So I had relatives in like PJ, then Bangsa, Tamantun, Brickfields, the whole place lah. So with my cousins in Malaysia are a lot more fun than my cousins in Singapore.
Yeah.
And
Yes, correct.
And there's some like fucking big difference, man. And I don't know what about it. So to me, KL was always a very homely, welcoming place until I started hearing people getting shot at traffic lights and that kind of stuff happening lah. I mean, my relatives there still like some of them are too anchored there to leave, which I understand. But the moment borders open, my mom is dying to go back, and I also would just love to see my cousins again lah.
So you're gonna yeah.
That's how I met up with Dan Koo. I haven't met Ernest, but even the Ming brothers.
So that means for you, YouTube it still feels like a relatively new thing that you've gotten into lah.
Yeah, I mean,
1 year or so.
I've been uploading videos off and on, but not as regularly as say, like every week I must upload. Now it's like I try to push myself every week at least 2 or 3 videos lah. So I think it's the consistency that's the hardest lah. But the algo rewards consistency.
Yeah, exactly. So
correct,
for us, we haven't uploaded something for about a year and a half. So no one gives a shit. The algo is like, fuck y'all, man.
And the YouTube community also is very different now from where it was like 5-6 years ago lah. 5-6 years ago, there was that, let's all collaborate, let's all appear in each other's videos, all these things.
Yeah.
Then, a few things happen, like...
I gotta say, yes, there is so like I said, I'm more of a stand-up comedian than a YouTuber, but I have friends who are YouTubers, and I'm not involved in the YouTube drama, but I gotta say, the Singapore YouTube drama is way
fucking crazy, bro.
Insane level, because the Malaysian, I don't know why, but the Malaysian YouTube drama is always like, the flow, fuck the guy, but then no fucking takes place. But in Singapore, like, wow, come on, story here. What the why? Really chala, why?
I don't, and even I heard Malaysia drama there was, but somehow after that it's like family lah. Family got drama, after that still family. Singapore is like got family drama, but then just go separate ways. Separate ways. Okay. And got cliques and all.
Got what?
Cliques.
Okay, the I think the most dramatic thing about the Singapore influencer scene was the whole Dkosh incident lah. The one where they were havoc, bro. That one, even Malaysia was like all of us like, wait, why lah? Who is like? That was insanity, man.
I mean, it's still investigation still ongoing, and even before that got scandals, no? Like there was drama within YouTube, then there was drama with influencers and the Me Too movement and everything lah. Then got backlash against misogyny against podcasters also.
I see. Wow.
So like exciting times.
Yeah, but you guys, the very dramatic. Malaysia not this dramatic one, no.
I think for us we stayed not say above it lah, but out of it because we came into the game a lot older than everyone else also.
Yes.
Then
so less thumbs up lah.
Yeah, we see everyone like squabbling over this and that, and then we're like, why so much fighting? Like a bit like primary school that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
But Malaysia, we always felt it was very peaceful. So have you had to, interact a lot more with YouTubers and do the whole YouTube thing like the comment, subscribe? How do you feel about doing that? Does it feel very, does it irk you not having to do that
like
kind of thing?
After you record, must go under shower and like clean off and all.
No lah, okay, so the like and subscribe thing for me, it doesn't bother me, and I tell you why. Because see, stand up, if you watch a lot of stand up comedy, right, you realize that at the end of the set, almost all stand up comedians will say like, hey everybody, thanks for watching. Hey, that's my set. Thank you. I'm Jimmy Carr. Thank you. I've been Bill Burr. They always say their name at the end of the show. And this comes from the background of the art where when you start, you're given 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So you want your audience to remember you. So at the end of your set, you say, thank you, my name is Jason Leong, good night. They say their name. It translates very easily to doing videos because you want people to remember that you are the one making the video. So I don't feel the need to. In fact, I should do it more.
Do you see yourself? You know what? Stand-up comedy. Who knows? There's another pandemic. I'm gonna be a online content creator for all the way now.
I think can. No, I think can because it's I mean, okay, it's a lot of hard work lah. Because each video you have to edit, it's quite. I think can, but I still feel that live stand-up comedy is the way for me lah. That's my number one passion lah.
That's dope, man.
And man, I tell you, the feeling of being in front of a live audience and getting that feedback, that validation is very powerful. It's very, very powerful. That's why people like to do this. It's like chasing a high,
Yeah.
And that feeling, that energy in the same room where you're speaking and they're laughing is irreplaceable. It's really, really irreplaceable. Yeah.
Was there anything ever that you felt, studying medicine or what, that would give you an equal kind of high?
Medicine.
That same high you're talking about?
Well, I guess, like if you save a person's life, yeah, you'll get that high, of course.
I'm Dr. Jason Leong. Thank you. Good night.
Yeah. After I save, all right. Hey, I'm.
Drop the scalpel.
Yeah, pling. Thank you.
So this feeling, you feel like this is something your whole life that you've actually wanted lah, or is it something you came to later in life?
I started in 2010 at the age of 26. So this is 10 years ago. So I've always liked stand-up. I've always liked to public speak, hear my own voice, tell jokes. So it translates very easily. And at the time, Malaysia got no comedy scene. So when they started to have the comedy scene, that's when I tried do open mics and stuff. And it went well. So then I realized that, hey, I like this, and I have a bit of I'm made for this. Yeah. And then slowly, I'm lucky. So because the industry grew at the same rate I grew, because when I started, the industry started. So if you look at all the comedy scenes in Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Manila, Indonesia, India, all grew around the same time, right? It all started at the same time. Exclusive for each other. So that there's an organic thing that we all started together. So luckily, I started when the scene started in Malaysia.
Yeah,
I see.
Because I remember in 2010 when Terrence and I came back from studies and we were just trying to dabble in the comedy scene, we went to watch Fakafa's live. And I think Rishi as well.
Bad choice lah. They were horrible in 2010.
That's why we thought we can do a better job. And let's get into it.
On YouTube.
Yeah, and now they are okay lah. Now they got 1 or 2 punchlines lah in the set lah.
1 or 2, huh? 1 or 2. 10 out of 10 years. 1 or 2 punchlines.
1 or 2 punchlines lah now, but they're very good lah.
No, but we are super. We're super grateful to them also lah, because we never started as
Jason, you cannot imagine.
Okay, go.
We never started as stand-up comedians per se lah. So we started on YouTube. People like, who the fuck are these people?
Yes.
And then I think over time, as we did more things and people saw, okay, at least they have a sense of humor and all, then they start to ask us, hey, let's work together. And then Faz appeared in our videos, Rishi also appeared in our podcast and stuff. And eventually, it culminated in them asking, giving us opportunities also to perform on stage as well lah. Which for us was like mind blowing lah. And just watching everyone who work at the craft and all, I was very like, wow, shit, this is what really goes into the whole art of stand-up comedy lah. I'll never ever say anything to diss any stand-up comedian anymore. Because you put yourself out there, that's really just being out there is something already lah.
Yeah.
Right? Harish, I don't know how you felt about it, but I've always felt like this lah.
Same things. I mean, I knew it was hard, but until I tried it, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking hard, man.
Hard. A lot of people will be very overconfident. Say, yeah, of course I can do stand-up. Just 3 minutes, just 5 minutes. Then when the time when the time for them to when they are closer to the performance time, they realize that fuck, this is damn difficult.
Yeah.
They haven't gone on stage yet, but I can tell in their eyes that, oh my god, this is actually quite hard. What if they don't laugh? There's no guarantee that they laugh. If they don't laugh, I look like a fool. And then they will slowly start to crumble, And that's why we only give them 3 minutes, because 3 minutes sounds like a very short time. But when you're not doing well, it's an eternity.
So does the fear still creep up on you or not? Or like for you, like getting on stage, you're like, this is my Every show, I feel that sense of excitement, but also that sense of like fear, like the adrenaline rush. It keeps me on the toes. That's why you see all stand-up comedians, like before we go on stage, there must be like a time period before we go on stage where we get into the zone. We center ourselves and then we go on stage. For every gig, small, big, open mic, headliner show, my own show, wherever, small club, theater, it is all the same.
But you said you had 40 minutes of of material lined up already? Like what do you have? Because I know some people have a process where they workshop like crazy,
Yes.
until they get to a perfect like 1 hour and everything lah. But for you, how does it work? Like, do you start at smaller clubs, or do you just really go out there and just throw everything at the wall and see what works or what?
Yeah, so what I've been doing is I will do a series of trial shows where like half an hour, 1 hour, where I will do material like 40 minutes or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, like, and try. And then once I've managed to get like 10 minutes, then I increase to 20 minutes. And then after a while, I'll have a good solid hour. And the trial shows are very cheap. They're about like 10 ringgit or 20 cents, Singapore dollars, whatever. And I tell the crowd that this is the first time I'm doing all these jokes. If it's not funny, then just shut up, because you need paid 10 ringgit. Don't expect so much, but I need them to be there as a good, or as a good barometer to say whether or not the jokes work lah.
So like for something like your Netflix special, like how long do you think the whole process was from the first workshop to the final thing?
I would say about a year lah before I went to tape. Because I took some time to craft the jokes, and then I took that 1 hour show, I took it on tour. So I toured 5 states in Malaysia. I did India, Philippines, Hong Kong, 4 cities in Australia, and Singapore, of course. So by the time I taped the special, I had already already done the show like 50 times.
Wow.
So how did the thing come about? Did Netflix just reach out to you and like, was it a long process?
No, so in 2018 I taped the show. The show that's on Netflix now, I taped it in 2018. And I footed the bill myself. There was no deal with Netflix whatsoever. I shot the thing hoping to sell it to Netflix. Okay? So I used my own money, and 2018 I tried to sell it with a promoter who is based in Kuala Lumpur. That didn't happen. So I was quite disappointed, but I keep trying and trying. So 2018, nothing happened. 2019, nothing happened. 2020, because of the lockdown and everything, I felt a bit depressed, and I thought, okay, we're not getting anything out of this special. So why not I just cut it up into clips and then I put it on YouTube. At least I can get something lah. And my producer at the time, who I didn't pay him anything, because he said, when you make money, you pay me. So I said, I called him to get his blessing lah. I said, can I just upload on YouTube because I got nothing, can't get anything out of this. So it's already uploaded on YouTube. I was going to press the publish button, the publish to make it available. I said, I got to try one last time. I got to try again. So literally, I about to click. I said, no. I knew of Netflix Asia because the guy at the time who was at Netflix, his name is Raphael. When I performed the show in Singapore, I said, hey, Raphael, come and watch my show. I'll give you 2 free tickets. So he came and watched the show. The show went well, so he was impressed and we became friends. But I was trying to sell it to Netflix in Los Angeles, the headquarters. So I thought, they are not biting. Let's try Netflix Asia and see what happens. Maybe there's a different jalan, And he said, I said, Raphael, what would it take to get my special on Netflix? And he goes, well, we are in a position to buy things which are complete works which are complete. Do you have anything to show me? And I said, yes, of course. I sent him the link,
Fuck, man.
Yeah, of course. I have it. And then after a month or so, it became. It was on we signed the contract lah. It takes some form of self-belief that okay, this is a good show. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna try. But yeah, I'm glad. I mean, and also there's the hustle involved lah. I went to Singapore. I reached out to the guy and said, "Okay, I give you free tickets. Just come and watch me perform." So he knows that I'm quite okay lah in stand up.
Yeah. So
that's a real. That means it's almost like a real gamble on yourself lah. Because I mean, people might not realize it, but actually filming a special, all that, it's not easy. It's not cheap, right? It's a lot of planning involved.
Yeah.
So to do it without a deal in place and just knowing that you're going to sell it, that sounds like that's
to
insane.
do it with high enough quality that Netflix can acquire it, because they have certain requirements, right?
Exactly.
So you shot wanting to just keep it like top quality lah.
I followed the Netflix requirements, and so that when I send it to Raphael, I said, look, this all follows your requirements, the Dolby 5.1 surround sound, the resolution, whatever. But I have other stories that, like I know of several comedians in the States. They're really great guys. There's a guy named Mark Norman who released his special on YouTube for free. And I think the story behind it was like he just couldn't get a deal or a fair enough deal from maybe the big guys at Netflix or whatever. He said, fuck it, just put it on YouTube. And I think right now it's gotten like 13 million views.
Wow.
So I'm sure he has gotten more out of that than, say, if he had just sold it to Netflix or even Comedy Central. Oh, sorry. It has 7 million views now after 1 year.
Damn.
So I think like 7 million views, it's good. It has paid itself in terms of exposure lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The invaluable currency of exposure.
Yeah.
I hope
7
the
million
producer-
is exposure lah. 7 million is exposure,
correct.
right? Okay. Yeah.
So your producer eventually you made things square with him also lah.
Yeah lah, no, because he came in saying that, okay, I will, don't pay me, but he'll take a chunk of whatever Netflix pays me lah. So I think he's happy with that. Yeah, he also took a gamble on me, and I took a gamble on myself.
So that means, and it came out last September, right? So it was almost like a good timing in the sense of, okay lah, now that you're doing more online stuff, people can find you online, then they can immediately see that you're generating a shit ton of content.
Yeah, and it was also good timing in the sense that at the time there wasn't many new stand-up comedy specials released because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were cooped up indoors, a lot of people watched it lah. And when I did the special, I was very aware that I want the show to be understood by people who are not from Malaysia. You don't have to be Malaysian nor live in Malaysia to laugh at the jokes, because the jokes are quite universal lah.
Yeah.
Then how you came up with the name? Was it like the moment you're like you signed the contract, you're like, wow, blessed, I didn't upload it on YouTube?
See, this is because you didn't watch my special, right?
No, there's a joke in it that there's
Exactly.
He bitches about people who everything have hashtag blessed, Instagram hashtag blessed.
I hope you can watch it, Harish.
I watched it.
The one by
I admittedly haven't. But I did watch the thing that I want to talk to you about later, which I'll come to later.
you haven't watched my special. You're just like Rishi lah.
Correct.
And Faz.
Cindy's.
So
all Cindy's the same.
There was a bit where I talked about how I hate people who show off their business class flights, because they will always go. They put they will show themselves in the cabin, and then they always put hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. So it came from a friend of mine who always does this, and I remember screenshotting his post and then sending it to a mutual friend of ours, and I said, I wish the plane crash. And then it started, I'm really angry at this. Okay, time to do a setup, then it became a set lah.
I see.
So does life for a comedian, does it change overnight the moment there's this Netflix series going out? Because I think a lot of people, they dream that one day that they have this Netflix thing. But for some people, especially filmmakers, they find that, it's just another platform lah.
No lah, not for me, not overnight lah, but it definitely boosted my profile. But there's some comedians, I think, in the States who they get a good Netflix special out, and then they get some overnight, literally overnight, their profile is boosted to such an extent they can tour around the country, and so it can happen, of course, but it's rare. Usually it's a slow grind lah,
I see. Wow, not bad. Congrats on the hustle.
Oh, thanks, man.
Paid off.
Yeah, sir. And like before it came out, you were already creating online content, right? Because last year at the start of the whole lockdown, you were already, and my family was sharing it on WhatsApp group, no?
It's called. I started this thing called the All Day Show with no budget.
Yeah. Then I saw that you had some episodes with some budget, right?
I'm a big fan of the late night shows.
Yeah.
So when I did my one, it's like, because I got no budget, so I do everything myself. So I said, okay, it's gonna be a show with no budget. Then instead of late night show, I call it the All Day Show, because you can watch it all day. Any time of the day you can watch it, ma. So then I started, and it got a good traction because it's easy to. Not easy lah. The Malaysian politics it gives a lot of material lah.
It does. Your latest episode, I mean, to me at least explains the whole whatever's going on in Malaysia right now pretty well. I really can't even wrap my head around it.
Oh, trust me, I also cannot wrap my head around it. like literally today, the Prime Minister has most likely lost his majority, but somehow or other he can still be the Prime Minister.
Yeah, he's just hanging around.
Yeah, and he said, I will prove my majority in Parliament. Okay, so a parliamentary sitting is the best way to prove that the PM has the majority to be the Prime Minister. And he said, I will prove my majority in Parliament. And when is Parliament? September.
And then also like the Sultan is getting involved again or something, right?
Oh no! So we have what's called the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. So the Agong is like the king of kings. Okay, so we have 9 kings and
they rotate, right?
They rotate. So the current Agong, it's like this. Actually, quite nice to explain to a non-Malaysian.
Yeah,
so,
please.
Yes, please.
So
our
okay.
audience also. Yeah.
So I think this was in can't remember which month it was. The Malaysian government declared that Malaysia was in a state of emergency. This was to battle COVID. Okay.
Yeah.
And during this emergency situation, Parliament is suspended, which is very very convenient because our Prime Minister has a very thin majority. Okay. So some people say he has lost majority, some people say he has not. But it's we have 222 seats, and he has at best a majority of 115 or something like that. Like 2 or 3 seats more only lah.
Yeah.
So they suspend Parliament, and it's all very very convenient. And the emergency was supposed to be debated in Parliament by September. Okay? So when you debate something in Parliament, the debate may become a vote. Like, okay, who votes that the emergency was necessary, right? Now, if that vote fails, that's like saying the Prime Minister has no majority. Okay, so the Prime Minister die also must avoid that vote. Okay, so one of the ways to avoid that vote is the cabinet and the king. The cabinet can advise the king. Let's now cancel the emergency. Okay, so if we cancel the emergency, there's no need to vote because no more emergency, right? So at the last week there was a special parliamentary sitting, just a special no vote whatever. One of the ministers said there's no need to vote because last week we cancelled the emergency already. Okay. Then the opposition members of parliament, but the king never says so. Did you consult the king? Is it gazetted in the public gazette? Where is the proof that you cancel? So that became a real clusterfuck because they didn't get the king's consent. Okay, and the king is a very important figurehead.
Yeah.
So then the PM said no, we did everything correctly. So 3 days after that, the king issued a statement saying, you didn't. You didn't get my consent. Number 1. Number 2, when you came to me before the parliament sitting, I said debate it in parliament and put it to and debate it, and then and you said yes, we'll debate it. So not only did you not debate the vote, the emergency, you said it's cancelled, which I didn't say it's cancelled. So that started this whole secondary clusterfuck of whether the king is angry or whatever. And in the statement, they were said that the king was amat duka cita, which is disappointed.
I see.
Okay, it's very rare for the king to use such strong words lah.
Yeah, but just for a noob question, of course, we come from a place where basically Prime Minister has the most power in our country lah. There's nothing that can usurp him. But when you say that Agong needs to approve something or say yes to something,
okay,
what can he say no and then you just have to change everything? Or
okay, this is an excellent question. What we have in Malaysia is called a constitutional monarchy. Okay, where we have a king, but the king is bound by the rules and conventions of our federal constitution. So like Singapore, the highest law of the highest law of the land is the federal constitution. Okay, but now our federal constitution gives our king some special powers. So, for example, when Parliament makes law, okay, the law must be given the royal consent by the Agong, by the king.
Any law that's passed.
Any law that's passed, or make new law or pass or make any laws new laws that they are made I think amendment also The king you must then present to the king, and the king can do a few things. The king can say, okay, yes, chop. The king can say, I'm not sure, I want to seek advice. He can delay the assent up to 30 days. Okay. After 30 days, that law will become law whether or not the king says yes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So there's that soft.
Delay.
He can delay, but he cannot. There is an eventuality to it that it will be passed So it gives the king some special powers So when it comes to the emergency, the king, on advice of the cabinet, can cancel the emergency. But once parliament sits, then the emergency can only be cancelled by a vote in parliament.
I see.
That's why the ministers start hey, no, cancel. Last week cancel already. So no need to debate now. Because like I said, they don't want to have the debate because the debate may lead to a vote. And if you vote against it, that's like saying the prime minister has no majority.
Walao, this is like Game of Thrones in real life, yeah.
It really is like Game of Thrones. And all the events that led up to this from 2020, there's also another Game of Thrones. When we won the elections in 2018, there's also another Game of Thrones. Like it's like Game of Thrones plus House of Cards. They cannot even fight Malaysian politics.
But from Singapore's side, everything is we don't question a lot of these politics. But how do you, as a citizen of the country, when you see all these kind of things going on, how do you feel? And then if everyone's angry, what outlet is there for you to do anything?
So very good question. So a few days ago, we had a protest called Lawan. Lawan means fight. So by very young people, the 18 to 21 year olds, they went to the streets wearing black and they protested. Lawan fight. We've always had a lot of protests in the past, like the Bersih rallies, and even on social media, everyone's quite critical nowadays. A lot of people are voicing out their frustrations on social media, and this current pandemic is the worst I've ever seen of Malaysians voicing out. You know why? Because ordinary Malaysians they lose their jobs, they lose their incomes, and they are literally losing their lives. They got no food to eat. A lot of people have family members who have died of COVID. So when that happens, people just don't give a fuck anymore. What else is there to lose? So now it's a very vocal time for Malaysians There is the one silver lining. People are voicing out against the bullshit that the politicians are putting out right now. And today, 19,000 cases. What the fuck are they doing to curb the rise of these cases? So
you mean, because I know during the Bersih 1.0, Bersih 2.0, there was a certain sense of optimism also right?
Yeah.
Then after that felt like I don't know how much that translated into actual change. Are you more optimistic now that things are so dire, right, that it's going to have to change somehow? Or you think Mahathir has his elixir of life that he's going to live on for another 30 years?
I think overall, freedom of speech has definitely slightly improved, although it's hard to see. Because in 10 years ago, you will never see people on social media, hey, this government is bad, this government is doing this, it's horrible. Ordinary Malaysians, you will never see that. But now, you can see that every day, with the hashtag, Kerajaan Gagal, which is translates to failed government. We will never dare to say that. There's also like Kerajaan Pembunuh, like this government this government is killing people. So people are more vocal now, and that's a good thing. And definitely the politics in Malaysia is so fractured right now that there is no one group of bad guys who will control everything.
I see.
Now they are all split into smaller groups of bad guys. But there's also a growing number of members of parliament and political parties who know how to do the right thing.
I see. So there is that faith in some politicians.
So I think things will slowly improve. However, there's also my pessimism where we have really lost so much ground to other countries like say Thailand. I mean Singapore, need to say lah. Thailand and Indonesia, and I worry that Malaysia is not a good place for me to raise my children. So I would rather hedge my bets by trying my luck in another country like Singapore, Australia, or Singapore and Singapore. Singapore is a good place, I think.
Yeah. And I mean, just now you mentioned the freedom of speech thing. Like, on one hand, freedom of speech is good, lah. But now, like, one of the things that I wanted to talk to you most is the when certain groups get their voice heard, like the anti-vax movement, lah. Because slowly, I mean, over the recent weeks, we've also seen that rise in Singapore, and I know it's been there in Malaysia. And I watched your interview with Dr. Roland Victor, and I salute you for having that conversation, because I don't know what I would have done if I was doing the interview, lah, because I could see you trying to unpack his thinking, right? And what was your thoughts of how that went? Because generally, okay, so from my understanding, I know he did a video. I know it was in Malay, and I took Malay for 12 years, but I don't have enough faith to understand the video. So I just watched you guys talk. And from what I recall, he is a practicing doctor, right? He is an advocate for natural, some sort of like less medicinal and all that.
Yeah.
And he did a video just, in his words, explaining the potential side effects of vaccines. But at the end of the day, he still did say that he would encourage people to take vaccines, but he didn't want to take vaccines on his own.
Yeah, the video he put out, which the subject of the discussion was, this vaccine can cause this, and then the side effects are so severe, and then we don't have enough proof. So it was very much stoking fear into people, and very irresponsible, in my opinion. So I reached out to him and then said, hey, let's have a chat about this. And credit to him, he was willing to come for the chat and talk about it. And and I said, look, it'll be I believe it was live, so I can't edit out. I can't edit out and then mince your words, whatever. So you have that. Yeah. So he came, and so I did some research into him before I had a chat. And then there's one Instagram post which he says, this pandemic is the greatest hoax of the 21st century, or something like that. Okay, this pandemic is the greatest hoax. So I had that in my mind. I kept it. So I talked to him about the vaccine and stuff, and essentially what he did was he explained his point of view, but in a way that it's like I give him rope to hang himself. Okay, and it really made people go, oh wow, are you serious? And then when I bring up the fact about the Instagram post about this pandemic is the greatest hoax of the 21st century, he stuck to it. Which is just the worst thing you could do, lah. So I think that video helped reduce his credibility a little bit, and also promoted the message I wanted to say, which is go and get vaccinated, lah. And so far, like data and time will reveal the truth, and the data and the data that we have so far shows that, look, vaccines work. Pfizer, Sinovac, AstraZeneca, it all works. And right now, there is a whole shift of the thinking where it will become a pandemic of the unvaccinated. The data from the United States shows that almost 99% of the new cases are people who are not vaccinated. And 99% of people who are vaccinated don't get the new Delta variant COVID. So I felt that was an important video. I mean, I'm glad that he came, lah. Usually people won't come, lah. But I'm glad he came. I actually spent money for the setup, to chat with him, and it was very important, lah. It's very important to have the discussion.
But I mean, I thought, like, I came away, okay, lah. Like, I can see, okay, the things he said, there were certain flaws in his argument, lah. But just for example, in Singapore, right, I think the most recent thing was there was a petition signed by people who are against vaccines, petitioning against the potential different policies for vaccinated versus unvaccinated.
Oh, okay.
Because they mentioned that in the government, in one parliamentary sitting, about how in like middle August they're going to reevaluate, and potentially for gyms and restaurants you have to share your show your vaccination status, So to me, okay, there was a lot of talk here, but it almost galvanized the anti-vax community, And then I even joined a Telegram group of anti-vaxxers, and bro, like fucking every hour there's like 500 messages. And
I see.
so that's why when I think you mentioned it during that video that he became kind of like a champion of that movement, lah.
I see. Yeah.
So do you feel also that okay, by doing that, okay, it did discredit him or his claims amongst your people who share your perspective, but amongst the people who don't, right? They will just see, look at this Dr. Jason Leong, he answered so well against Dr. Jason Leong, asking all these progressive leftist woke questions.
Yeah. I think it definitely. I get your point, and of course, his hardcore supporters. Let's put it this way: the anti-vaxxers will keep piling on stuff to promote their own biased point of view, right? So that's why when it comes to this kind of stuff, science will always lead the way. Science doesn't have an opinion. Science is just facts. Okay, so I'm very confident that vaccines work and vaccines are important. But so beyond Dr. Roland Victor's video, I also did other videos like, hey, go and get vaccinated. I will, we had a AstraZeneca vaccine rollout, I think in May. And I said I will be the first to sign up for this rollout. So I signed up for the vaccine. And then the next day I did kettlebells. I did BJJ. Then I said, look, I yesterday I took the vaccine. No some side effects. Today I went to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm fine. Then the next day I did kettlebells and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I purposely posted a photo of me lifting the kettlebell, full of
and
sweat.
And then with a hashtag blessed, is it?
No. hashtag vexed. So I did that to prove a point that you'll be fine. And then I also did like so I did that, and I did like a live stream video where it's like, hey, AMA lah, ask me anything. I just got vexed. Like on the day of the vaccination, on Friday night, I like this. I put up, say, okay, you can ask me anything. I'll answer all your questions. So there are so many questions like, how do you feel? What's the what was the process like? Or then they ask me like, can mix vaccines? I'm allergic? Can I what? A lot of clinical questions lah. A lot of like doubts also. So I kept answering them, put up videos. So I did other videos as well. And people have actually told me, not a few, many have actually said, oh, Jason, thank you for your video. Your video convinced me to go and get vaccinated. Your video, or then someone has said, your video, I sent your video to my parents and then they were convinced to get vaccinated. I think the fact that I got vaccinated and I'm fine, and I documented my journey and I showed people, it makes people who are on the fence decide to get vaccinated.
Do you feel a special? Important. But do you feel a special need to do this particularly because of your background in medicine as well? That's why you felt like if there's anything that the intersection of your callings, this is it lah, right? Yeah.
So generally, I think I'm also even before even before COVID and vaccines lah. I mean, in my stand-up itself, I said, look, traditional medicine is bullshit. And then I make a whole joke about it, and then people say, some people get offended. I said, look, it's bullshit. It doesn't work lah. Okay. So I don't like all these like people who pro feng shui, like, oh, you put your bed there, you'll cure you of your whatever. And you see so this whole pseudoscience and anti-medicine bullshit, right? It's very prevalent in both our countries.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a friend my age who was diagnosed with cancer. And he is a very strongly scientific guy. So he believes in science. So he like chemotherapy, radiotherapy. He suffered by number. He stuck to science. His well-meaning relatives will say, oh, you need to go to the temple and pray. I'll bring you to my sincere. And he said, no, that doesn't work. Go fuck yourself. And today he's in remission. Okay? Because he didn't have to do through all that bullshit. So I have a festering hate for this pseudoscience and anti-medicine nonsense. I was in a forum. I was emceeing a forum, and this guy, his wife, had recently passed away from cancer or whatever. And he was telling her that in Malaysia, in his society, when his wife was diagnosed with cancer, suddenly all the relatives will come, you have to eat this herb. Why you never eat that herb? You must do this. You must eat this ubat kampung. And then this guy's like, these people are smarter than the doctors. They started behaving like they are smarter. So all this pandemic has released and revealed this bullshit, this layer of bullshit that is so deeply entrenched in our culture. So that's why I like to call out this kind of bullshit lah. So when this whole vaccine thing came about, like, it's just I gotta say something like, and of course with my background in medicine, it gives me a bit more slightly more street cred compared to other comedians lah. So I knew that I was in a very special position. Other comedians cannot do what I do. Other doctors cannot do what I do. So I will do it. Yeah.
It's the ultimate Venn diagram. You're the ultimate Venn diagram.
No. There's like I'm like the cleavage of the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Only one fella only.
The cleavage.
only one only. Only one guy.
But actually, just one
Venn diagram.
Since you're here, I mean, there's one thing I want to ask is like, how come there are some doctors who are also, very hesitant about the vaccine, and then they are signing letters to the government, at least in Singapore lah.
Yeah.
There was a group of 10, 11 or 12 doctors who signed letters saying, we shouldn't let our children get the vaccine. and sometimes I'm because we don't hear so much about how doctors interact and all that. But why is it that there are some doctors, even within, who are practicing right now, that can have that kind of stand within the medical field?
Yeah. You see, you must understand that whenever there's a protest going on, we will always pay attention to the people who are going against the grain, the people who are protesting. We pull our attention to the people who are protesting. For example, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, there were a few hundred people or thousands at best in KL protesting. Media attention was shown spotlight on the people protesting because that's the very nature of the protest, to get attention. And millions of other people did not protest. Okay, and what I'm getting at is the doctors who protested. You say in Singapore, 11 to 12 doctors, they said don't
wrote an open letter and all that lah.
Don't they're against the vaccinations, right?
For children lah, I think against for children.
They were advising against people of 12 years to 18 years from getting the vaccine, even though the government said go and get it.
So then let's ask ourselves, how many doctors did not sign that letter?
No, at least 1,000 right?
How many doctors in Singapore did not sign that letter? Because they would have agreed with the government policy. So in every field, there will be a few people who would go against the grain and they would disagree. Recently, there was this a microbiologist on, I don't know which country, Ireland or whatever, who said that, how come if I have AIDS, gonorrhea, chlamydia, hepatitis, I can go to a restaurant. But I need to show proof of vaccination from COVID to go into restaurant. So it's like there's not the fucking same, right? Like, you're not going to go and have sex or do blood transfusion in the restaurant, right? But they are, like you said, this guy's a doctor, is a microbiologist. So there will always be people on the fringes. Like everything, like there's a spectrum, So these people are to be expected, of course, but we can never. It's important for us to not place the importance of their protests against the larger group of people who follow science and data. Yeah, there are a lot more doctors. Overwhelmingly, a lot more doctors, scientists, researchers are convinced that the vaccine works.
I mean, in Singapore, like, I think I was just, the last podcast we were talking about this was that one of the proudest things I've seen recently is when I go to get my vaccination, I see all the Singaporeans all quietly just lining up and just sitting there getting the vaccination. How is it going on in Malaysia? Is it like, is everyone just like happily going and there's no like jostling or quarreling or anything going on?
Well, there's some good news to report on that. Currently, Malaysia's vaccination rate, I think, it depends on who you ask. It's either the fastest in the world or one of the fastest in the world.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, we apparently can vaccinate, I think, 80% of population within 2 months. We are doing about an average about 500,000 doses a day. And we once we got the supplies in, we could vaccinate at a very fast rate lah. And credit must be given to, of course, the minister in charge. His name is Khairi Jamaluddin. He's doing an excellent job. It's not easy to get 500 jabs in arms a day lah, And so and the people are signing up, and that's the speculation is that because we have so many cases, people are scared and they let's go get vaccinated lah. So which is good lah, which is good. And I think like in Klang Valley where I am, Klang Valley is like Selangor and Kuala Lumpur. By 3 weeks from now, or how many weeks? About 17 days from now, 80% of the people in Klang Valley would have gotten 2 doses.
And this is across all demographics, is it?
This is Klang Valley alone.
But the age group, the
age group is, I think we are not giving to children yet, but we're giving to 18 and above.
Okay, because in Singapore there's 200,000 seniors who are like holding the fort.
Refuse.
Holding the fort meaning?
Like they haven't gotten vaccinated, and then they kinda like in parliament, like when the teacher scolds the whole class for the wrongdoings of one student. In parliament they said, we wanted to open up, but because of these 200,000 unvaccinated seniors, we can't lah. Then like it's almost outsourcing all the work to people to go scold their parents.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like which is why I created a video called the 3 Goes to convince the older generation to go and get vaccinated, and to remind them that you once took your child to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
What is the difference? There is no difference, right? You as a parent took your child to get vaccinated, so now it's your turn to get vaccinated. What's wrong with that?
So in your whole extended family, there's no one who is refusing to take.
Oh, extended family, I don't have the energy to check lah. But so far, my mom has not told me anything lah. So my mom is the CNN. So far none that I know of lah.
Yeah, because in my extended family got and like it just can't get through to them lah.
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's very hard. I had a friend whose colleague stocked up on ivermectin, and then he had an appointment for the vaccination. He just didn't go. He deliberately missed his appointment. So that is really upsetting now.
No, so just now I just wanted to go back to something you were saying earlier about your feelings about things going on in Malaysia, all that lah, and possibly even uprooting and going somewhere else. Actually, I just realized being a doctor and comedian might be the best combination to move to another country. So they take you in as a doctor, and then after that you entertain them as a comedian. Wow.
Yeah, so Mr.
That's the grand plan.
Yeah, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong, I humbly apply to work in Singapore.
No, but on a serious note,
Lee, thank you, Mr. Lee.
What countries have you been impressed by or what during this pandemic that you think will be a great place for home?
Wow, big question. Okay, I like Singapore. I've always liked Japan. I would like to go to Japan every year for a holiday. I would love to go to America for my comedy career. New York and LA. That is where I want to go lah. So the weird thing is, I think as people in our profession, we shouldn't see ourselves as living in one country. We will most likely be multi-country citizens lah. America for work, Japan for leisure, then family will be in Singapore or Malaysia. It's going to be like that lah, at least for me lah. Yeah.
Actually, we are surveyors from the Singapore government lah. This whole podcast has just been to evaluate you.
Thank you. I think I've passed. I've passed with flying colors. I got content
We'll discuss internally and revert.
Revert back
to you.
I have videos. I have videos that you can share to get the elderly in Singapore to get vaccinated. Because my video showed a Chinese lady who don't want to get vaccinated. Come on, man.
Very a lot of foresight. You're very strategic in all your content.
Yeah. It's all for the greater good of Singapore.
For the greater good.
But so what's happening now? So 200,000 senior citizens not getting vaccinated. So what's happening? When is Singapore going to open up the borders?
Borders don't know, but August 18th is when we roll back to phase 2. Now we are in phase 2 heightened alert lah.
The big thing was that National Day is August 9th, right? We were supposed to hit 2/3 vaccinated by August 9th and then have our giant parade and everything lah. But because I think number of cases and the KTV nonsense, all that, they had to push back the National Day celebration to August 21st.
Yeah.
So everyone's sort of like a bit sian about the whole thing, but we're kind of expecting by August 21st everything should clear up. We should be able to go out again and have fun.
Because you know how important National Day Parade is to every Singaporean. It's the day we live for. No, every year that's the highlight. Fucking highlight.
Yes, I also live for it in Malaysia. I always
You say the pledge. You say the pledge.
I look forward to that also. Hey, but okay, so recently I'm checking here. So 61.5% of the Singapore population has been fully vaccinated.
The goal was to reach 2/3 by August 9th. So we probably still will meet that. We still
lah, 5 more
that.
percent lah, 5 more percent lah.
100%.
Yeah. 5
But
more
not the
percent.
old people. It's the old people who are holding out, who just refuse. Even though there's like mobile vaccination centers, everything.
Yeah,
They're just
literally,
like,
you can call and say there's an old person in that house. Go vaccinate him. People will go. People will just go and show up.
But they will still ask you lah. What do you want?
That's quite sad lah.
But I mean now, like thankfully we can still go out. I mean F&B operators and like fitness studios all have been hit because F&B you can't dine in. You can just take away. For fitness studios you need like safe distancing and all. So they've been hit, but it's still you can go out. You can take public transport, go get your supplies and all that lah. And only groups of 2 lah. And generally Singapore quite obedient lah. Quite obedient.
Yeah.
But would sorry, just question. Would building a comedy career in Singapore differ very much from Malaysia? Do you think?
I think it won't differ much, and luckily I have some following in Singapore as when it comes to my stand-up comedy, so I don't think it'll be that much difference. I just do a lot more of your podcast, and hopefully people know me, and then easier lah.
Yeah.
But even does the domestic audience, everything, given Malaysia's, 28 million. Singapore is still our very small 5 million population.
No, we are
That
33.
stuff doesn't.
No, we are 33 million in Malaysia,
33.
but I would say only about, I don't know how many percentage of that are English speakers or speak English as a first language, and I do stand-up comedy in English. But in Singapore, there's a larger percentage who speak English as a first language. So there's definitely that benefits lah. There are pros to moving in Singapore. But I think for me, moving to Singapore is not just doing comedy in Singapore. I'm moving to Singapore is to put roots there so that I can raise my child there lah.
Wow. That's a long-term plan.
Yeah.
So Mr. Lee, I can also contribute to the
the birth rate.
the birth rate. You can log in my child as a statistic. Yeah.
He's ready. He's full of joy to bring to Singapore.
So I mean like the comedy wise, what are you working on now, and what can like people expect from you in the coming weeks, months?
I'm gonna do more parody videos, of course, and once the restrictions lift, I will tour again. Also gonna tour to Singapore and hopefully record this new show and then sell to Netflix again lah.
Oh, sweet, man.
Power.
That is cool. So I mean like if people wanted to find you, where should they go? You're on all the socials?
Yes, I'm on all the socials. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Dr Jason Leong. And my YouTube channel is just Jason Leong. You'll find me lah.
I see.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
So now we just we have that one more final segment of our podcast, which is called a One Shiok Thing.
One what again?
One Shiok Thing.
Okay, that's the problem. You all pronounce the word wrongly.
Hey, this is the happiest part of the podcast. No, don't come and stir shit.
It's
with it.
one shock. It's shock.
Shiok. It's Shiok.
There's an I there.
This
is our
interview for
podcast.
Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a Singapore podcast. Mr. Lee is listening right now.
You want to
say
come to
shook on
Singapore?
this podcast.
You fucking say Shiok.
Okay, shock.
Just dangle the PR. Dangle the PR.
Just dangle it, bro.
Dangle the PR.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
So Terrence and I can go first, and then you can get a feel of how like
Okay.
hopefully you got something in your mind lah. So
Okay.
So Terrence, you got something?
Why don't you go first? You go first.
Okay, so my one, I've been quite happy watching the Olympics, and I think I have my favorite moment of the Olympics so far. I don't know, did you guys see what happened with the men's high jump final?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah,
did.
alamak. Fuck. Okay, so if hopefully, I don't know if our listeners all maybe have not seen it, but there were these two competitors who were like way ahead of the other two, and they were in the run for the gold. There's Gianmarco Tamberi of Italy and Mutas Essa Barshim of Qatar. And all the way they were competing for the goal. The guy who was behind them was already more or less confirmed for third, and it was between these two. And they both tried to clear a height same number of times they couldn't. So even the commentators were saying, okay, there's going to be a jump off. And then there's this very sweet clip of the official going to the two of them and saying, okay, we're going to do a jump off and all that. And the Italian guy and this Qatari guy, I think they're friends already, so they already embraced and they were waiting. And the Italian guy looked like a bit more concerned than the Qatari guy who was just looking straight at the official. And then when the official was talking about this, the Qatari guy just said, can we have 2 gold? And then you can see the Italian high jumper's face just like change. And then the official said, I think we can. And then the Qatari guy turns to the Italian guy, says, let's make history. And they fucking hug and they just started screaming. And it was great because they both shared the goal. And turns out they are very close friends on the track and off the track. And I think that is my single favorite moment of the whole Olympics.
Nice.
Got it.
It's great, man. And there are many clips you can see online. We'll have one in the show notes.
Okay.
Yeah. My One Shiok thing is also sports related. It's actually, I'm really anticipating the UFC fight this weekend between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane, 2 heavyweights. So I mean, and I like it because of the personality of Derek Lewis. His nickname is the Black Beast, but actually he's a really funny guy on social media. His Instagram and Twitter is really funny memes, and every time he's being interviewed is damn funny because he says the funniest shit about and most inappropriate shit. So if he manages to, I mean, and his story is quite crazy. I think if you look it up, he was basically homeless 10 years ago, and now he's fighting for heavyweight championship gold in the UFC. So it's regardless of what happens, I think this fight is going to be quite exciting because it's both big guys, power punchers and all. So I'm really looking forward to that. And if you can, just read up a little bit about this guy. He's damn funny, Derek Lewis, the Black Beast.
And check it out on Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
His Instagram's great.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
My one shock,
remember?
was when our also Olympics, our badminton men's doubles won bronze. I was watching them in the semi-finals and they sadly lost to I can't remember who was it they lost to. So they lost their bid for gold. So they played for bronze and they won bronze and it's very shocked for me because it's my badminton is one of my favorite sports to watch. We are always very close to winning gold in Olympics, and we have not touched the Thomas Cup since 1992. We always come very close, and it was shocked for me because the men's doubles winning the bronze medal reminds me that Singapore doesn't have a badminton team that can win Olympic gold.
Okay, I think we have made our decision. In
the last 5 minutes, when
you just threw everything away.
He says shook, the way he says shook.
Everything is so well done. 1.5 hours and
Okay, but cool. We will. I'm guessing there's a link to the highlights of that bronze match
I'm sure. You can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, we'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And yeah, that's all for today. Thanks so much for joining us, man.
Thanks you.
Jason.
Thanks, Terrence. Thanks, Harish. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, we will put this link on our Reddit. People listening, please go share your love, share your questions, and we'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye-bye.
Peace.